Hi, in today's video I will be showing you how I created or made these um, stickers or decals, whatever you want to call them, using packing tape and magazines. Okay, so the main items that you need are packing tape. Definitely need the packing tape. Scissors. Magazines. Doesn't matter, just find a selection of magazines that you like or inspire you to go through, and a bowl of water. I will tell you as I go, I will give you tips and tricks and things that I prefer to do, and those are the main things that you need. I also like to use this little spreader I have for crafts, but truly your finger or your thumb will work just fine. You really don't need this, and if you don't even have something like this, you can use the edge of a credit card if you do prefer the way I do when you see me do it with this. Okay, so let me just set some things aside, and I picked out my magazine page already, and it's this one right here. And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks, like I said, as I go along. The thing when you're choosing your magazine page that you want to keep in mind, and I'll start with this to show you an example, is that as you can see from my little sticker or decal, is that around the image that I chose, and I'm actually going to cut these words off, but around all of that it's clear. In the way it, same with this, it's clear. In the way that it becomes clear, and what gives it its sticky is that clear section. If you choose to use a page like this where there is ink print around the words that you want to use or around the image that you want to use, then what happens is, as with these fireworks, is it doesn't have that stickiness. And that's because because the die have stuck pretty much to the entire piece of tape, and therefore it voids any stickiness. So what you should look for, if I want to brands and decade, is a section where it has white around it, no printed words. And here is an example of that. So here's the word brands and decades, and around it and in between it and all over is white. And so when if I decide to take that word, and I'll just quickly do this. If I decide to take those words, those words, then I guess I should have get it will be the white part around it. Wow. Now let's see. And then when I go to cut around and remove, this words brands and decades will stay. I wanted to tell you something that I did, and I don't know if you noticed when I was doing it, is I didn't take my time to place my tape. And that's very important. And the reason is because you will get these lines in your tape. If you can see that. And that will affect the transferring of the image onto the back of the tape. So I'm just gonna go ahead with doing this one. But like I said, so this will affect it. The line in the will affect the image transferring over, and I'm going to show you an example of what happens. And you may want that. See, that may be something that you want. It's just when you take and cut the image out, and you go to place it in the water, and then when the image releases, when the paper comes off and the tape goes back to being its normal way and releases that crease, then what happens is you will get a crease in your image, as what happened here. Now, this may be something that you want, and if that's something that you want, then by all means go ahead and strategically place creases in your image, or just let them fall wherever they fall for, I guess it's like an artsy or vintage look, and you can do that. But if you want an image that's complete without that void in the image, then you want to make sure that you try to get your tape as flat as possible to lay on the sheet. I'm just going to cut this out so we can see another example. And all you have to do is just cut around the entire piece of tape, or if that's what you want. Well, that's what I'm going to do here. Cut around the entire piece of tape, and then place it in water. And just allow the water to soak through, and then I will show you the next step. But what I want to quickly do is just do one more and show you one more time. Let's see if I can get this tape. You know how it is working with packing tape, or maybe you don't. I think this piece will be a good piece. Oops. And hopefully I can do this one very smooth. I'm going to just lay it on one end, smooth it out, and like so. Your finger, like I said, will be just fine. But if you like, you can use a spreader or a spatula or a credit card. Just give that extra little smooth. Now say, I'm just going to say you wanted a bigger piece, like I did with this for the fireworks when I was showing an example of the die. And these are transparent. I just want to say that even if you do something like this and maybe there's something else you want to do with it, then by all means go ahead for a colorful one. But if you do want to stick it on something like a wall or your desk or your locker at school, then you definitely want to choose an image more so with white around it. But say you wanted a wider piece or a bigger piece of this of this picture, then the key to that is to make sure that you slightly overlap, in which I completely messed up because as you can see there's a gap here, but you get what I'm saying. Just slightly overlap the two pieces of tape. I'm just gonna do like this since I already messed that up anyway. But you want to just overlap the pieces, and then when you pull up, of course you would do yours much neater than me, but since I'm just doing this, you just quickly You want to cut out. And then you would put that whole piece in the water. Now about the soaking. Usually when I'm doing my stickers or decals, the thing I like to do is I soak them in a bowl of water, but I also like to be near my sink when I'm doing the rinsing of them. And that is because I like to just make sure, just want to rub away. But the longer you let them soak, the easier it is to get the paper off. But right now, and I just want to show you real quick. You can see that was where I had the tape gathered or pinched, and so it's going through my S. If you can see that, now that it's released, and you can see I got that line in there. But you just want to, as you can see, the magic happens. Just use your finger or something just to rub off the paper. And like I said, sometimes the longer you let them soak, the easier it is to come off. And you really want to make sure to be careful. One, I used a piece of tape. I don't know if you've seen at the end. It was already ripped on the edge. So that's why that's sort of the one that you want to be careful to make sure your pieces of tape are like even, not ripped when you're working with your tape, or that's going to happen to your sticker or your decal or whatever we should want to call these things. But as you can see, you just want to continue. And the reason I do it near my sink is when I get to this point, I like to run it under water. I like to run water, put this under the water, and just really clean it up. Let's say for the most part, this is clean. There you have it. So now I have the brands and the decade. There's that line that I put through accidentally, not on purpose, but it's cool nonetheless. With this word, it's fine. And so there you go. You would also, I'm sorry, I didn't bring me a clean cloth before I start video. You might want to also have a clean cloth. No, you don't might. You should have a clean cloth. And you can just go ahead. You can either set them to dry or while it's wet, just hurry up and quickly wipe it. It doesn't feel like it will be sticky, but once this all dries, the sticky will come back. Or once you dry it with a cloth, the sticky will all come back. And the larger one is the same way. You just want to rub. This one came off a little easier. This is a sample. And when it comes off really easy, the only thing, there's that one. And as you can see, I have that gap because I didn't put my tape together, but I still got with the two pieces, and I even added in that third piece, I was able to get the whole entire image. And the thing is, when you notice this, I don't know if you can see on camera, there's like this from the paper, it's like a white or whatever color your paper will be, but it should be background white. See that? You want to make, that's why another reason why I rinse that underwater is just to make sure you get that completely off. Now this one, I didn't get that white completely off, and it's not sticky. So you'll go back in, just clean it up, get that off, and it should go ahead and start adhering to items. I'm going to just try to hurt these dry, or I'll go grab a rag. But I want to show you some. Here's one. I didn't clean the white completely off, but there's other parts of it. It's still pretty sticky. So it still has that stick. This one, you can hear it. Here's another one I did, and just that line, that crease is in there. But it's just to show you that how these, as long as you get that clear, these will stick pretty nicely here, pretty nicely to your surfaces. And here's another one that I did. It was white background with some images. And I was able to lift those up, transfer them. I guess it's like transfer. But like I said, when you do one where you get complete print on the piece of tape, it will not be sticky, so maybe you can use it for a different project. But if you want to stick it to your lockers or to a table or to a desk. Now let me give you a warning of some other things. If you see something that you like, and it says like this, the white with the print around, just also remember the only part that's going to be sticky is that little white in there, and so your edges will probably still curl up. They won't stick as well because anything with print is not going to be sticky. So if you are going to try to find something with white words on a printed background, maybe try to make sure that the words are very large print, even larger than this, so that you can really get some sticky if that's what you want to do. And another thing, there's water everywhere and I didn't bring rag, is that you want to be careful where you stick them. If you are using black ink, you can see right here this rubbed off a little bit, and that's because I had this stuck. So I don't know if you can see, but I hope you can see. Let me pull it up. It kind of came off. I don't know if you can see that it is a little lighter, and that is because I had this stuck to something, and when I went to go rip it up, it left back a black ink residue on my table that I had it on. And so I just want to give you caution that the black ink will probably rub off or transfer onto one of your other backgrounds that you are using. So you just want to be careful with that. Let's see. This one, I'm going to take this off camera real fast. The stickiness is returning to it because it's starting to dry, but I'm going to quickly wipe it on something, and it will be off camera because I can't bring it over here. One moment. All right, still a little wet, but you know what? I'm trying to, as you can see, the sticky will return. I should have had a rag, and then I can place it onto my wall or onto a locker, onto a bookshelf, or wherever it is. Or if you just want to permanently adhere them to paper, then by all means you can do that too. And it's just slightly tacky. Some of them, it depends on how much you get it cleaned up. The cleaner it is, like this one, it tends to be a little bit more tacky, and so it's very simple. And I'm just going to do this on my shirt as well, since I didn't bring the let me just clean that. There you go. It's a really simple, easy, fun project, especially for high school students or middle school students, or any students want to just put stickers on lockers. And then there you have it. Let me just set this water aside, grab that back. There you go. So I hope you enjoy this project and find numerous uses for it. Like I said, it's fun to stick on your desk for inspirational stickers that you can switch in and out. You can put them in planners, make your own. If people use planners and just want to stick a couple of these in there, stick them on your locker, stick them on bookshelves, stick them on the wall, and then they come out, and then you maybe even have themes for them. Inspirational, maybe holiday, whatever you could think of. You're only limited by your imagination. Thanks for watching.